Hello and thank you for joining us. My name is Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D and you're watching Session 29 in the Kingdom of Agick. I am feeling huge about coming up here on Session 30. That's pretty momentous, so I'm excited about this. I'm going to, as always, do a quick recap here to bring us all back into a memory of what was transpiring when last we met. The party had adventured down into the bowels of the Sacred Stone Monastery. After clearing out the top level of the monastery and the caves, or actually I should say the mines below the monastery, they found a long staircase that wound around. It didn't spiral. It actually would go down straight for about 30 feet, and then there'd be a platform, and then it would turn and then go down again. And it came down about 450 feet. So you guys are a good, close to, if not 500 feet below the surface as best you can estimate. And that surface was actually below the plateau because the monastery itself was in this kind of cavern or sort of a canyon, if you will. Now, when you got down to the bottom of the staircase, you found what seems to be more canyons. However, as soon as you entered the stairwell, Gitgrot recognized right away. And honestly, actually, you know what? I kind of skipped something. So before I get into the level we're on now, I should introduce the characters so far. So we have Gitgrot is our paladin, dwarven paladin, who is played by Tyler when he is with us. Tonight he will be NPC'd by someone. We also have Colin playing our amazing human bard, Kaylin. Michelle is playing Kyra, our drow druid. And we will be introducing Brett and a new character very shortly, so bear with us for just a moment on that. So back to what I was saying, you came down to this level, and even when you entered the stairway, the mines gave you a hint of the kind of skill and quality of the craftsmanship, but as soon as you entered the stairway and when you got down onto this level, it was incredibly apparent to Gitgrot that this is definitely dwarven crafted. These mines, these corridors, and everything you've found so far were definitely mined by dwarves. Quite a long time ago, it seems, as well. You did come down into a very rough series of two caverns that were open about 100 feet from the ceiling to the floor. However, the floor was kind of this rocky, boulder-strewn mess, and you actually found very old bones of dwarves and orcs and rusted scraps of armor and weapons. And high above, there's a stalactite-filled ceiling, again, about 100 feet up. And the level that you guys are currently on is sort of in between the top of this canyon, or sorry, this chasm and the bottom of this chasm. So it's about 50 feet from that bottom level of the chasm. And you went from the first cavern into this smaller one because you had dispatched some gargoyles, but one of them tried to run, and before it could, it kind of Kyra could see with her exceptional eyesight that there was sort of like, it looked like a passage, and you found another chasm. And in this chasm, Kyra saw that there was a ledge up off the floor, and when she looked closer, or the group even came in and looked closer, you found 3 exits, 2 of which were sort of just these openings in the rock wall, and one of which was sort of an arrow slit. Using some magical skill and the ability of the druid to transform into a little tiny spider, you all managed to squeeze through or transport through the arrow slit into a beautifully appointed room. It has this lush canopy bed, and there's like statues and tapestries, and you found a gorgeous instrument and all this kind of thing. And found quite a bit of coin and a set of elven chain, who I believe someone already donned or was in the process of it. So then you heard someone outside of this room calling into you, and they declared themselves to be Marlos Ernrail, the Earth Prophet, or the Prophet of Earth. And even though he attempted to parlay with you all, you guys decided you weren't having any of that, because as near as you could tell, he seemed to be possibly a Medusa. And as soon as he realized that you guys wouldn't talk with him and have a civilized conversation, he basically sicked his minions on you, to which you ensued with combat and fairly easily handled a what is called a burrow shark, although you probably don't know that. You just know that it was a bullet ridden by one of these kind of earth cult members wearing this crazy stone plate armor. As well as a few more of those stone guards. You also were able to finally dispense Helen Ray. You did hear her name, Helen Ray, who was the matron or the mistress of the temple upstairs. She was apparently training the monks upstairs, being a monk herself. As you could tell, she was extremely quick, lots of attacks and so forth, all open hand stuff. But I believe Kaylin struck the final blow and took her down, and and that's pretty much where we left off. I do want to open up just a tiny bit more of this chamber that you're in. I'm also going to read one more time so that so everyone's kind of on the same page with this room or cavern or whatever you want to call it that you're in. There is some little bit of description that I want to add to the story here. So just bear with me for one sec. There we go. And here we go. Let us do the description of this room. All right, so this would be this cavern. Let me make sure I'm reading the right room, because I want to get it correct. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, so this cavern has formations of flowstone, stalagmites, and stalactites everywhere. A stone building is anchored in the north wall. This is the room that's beautifully appointed, but it's actually like its own building in a sense. And it's in the north wall, and a stone door stands in a masonry wall to the south, and you can see this now. It's a double door to the south. A natural gap in the cavern wall to the east reveals a chasm beyond. That's essentially the chasm you came through, but you didn't use that entry point. And let me ping the map just to make sure you all see where I'm discussing there. That room there, or that entry space there, is where it's open. You can see, like, if you weren't careful, you could just walk right off the edge there. But you didn't. You decided not to come in that entrance. You used the arrow slit, of course, as I mentioned a moment ago. Now, one of the things that's the most interesting about this space is that there are numerous lifelike statues that have been arranged among the rock formations. The statues depict creatures in poses suggesting shock, fear, or agony. And I'm not even going to ask for a roll. I'm going to kind of give this one to you because I'm sure you all could put two and two together based on the glimpse that you got of Marlos. You imagine that these were people that Marlos probably got displeased with and essentially basically turned them to stone, because they're so lifelike and perfect, and there's like no evidence of Stonecutter's tools or anything like this. They're just too flawless not to be actual people that were turned into stone. So you catch your breath and collect yourselves after this, few moments of intense combat. You do still have the cave bear in the room with you, and
I said last game that I was gonna go and like take her mask and just start rifling through her stuff,
sure.
but I wanted to take a mask.
All right, perfect. So you walk over and you pull her mask off, and so the thing that's really fascinating about her mask, opposed to the other monks, her mask doesn't have any eye slits. So you have to gather that she must have been blind. And let me double check something real quick. Yeah, yeah, so she has eyes, but you can kind of see that like even in death they don't look like the eyes of a person who had sight. Maybe a disease or something took her at some point in her life. They seem like they must have been sightless even before she died. Now they're sightless because there's just no soul in the body. Aside from that, she has nothing. She's an aesthetic as far as you can, or as close near as you can tell. She just had the clothing she was wearing. The actually, I guess she has. Does she have armor? She must have armor. Let me double check. Does she have some armor? No, she doesn't have armor. So apparently, she was wearing essentially a robe and this golden gargoyle mask with no eye holes. Actually, it was. In fact, one thing you notice, it was a particularly drab robe, like very unassuming, and especially in contrast to the opulence you see in this room. You gather that the room you searched upstairs in the monastery that you think was hers, which had some treasure in it. Hers is very austere, very, very bland, whereas this one was totally opulent.
So she didn't have like any keys and no the
She
paper or nothing.
had she did well, so you dig a little deeper. She had one key on her, and with a quick check, you can tell that it matches the key to the lock that you took, the padlock that you took off the gate.
Okay.
So you found that that
I just
lock now you
pocket that.
have, yeah, for sure, and you now have two keys for that lock, that padlock. As far as I remember, somebody has that lock and chain with them. I don't remember if it was Gitgrod or Farron, but I know one of them took it. So,
Kidding me? Kalen's way too irresponsible for that.
of course, right? Yeah, it was. It must. It was either Gitgrod or Farron. I can't
It
remember.
had to have been.
Yeah.
I think it was Farron. Okay. So yeah, I just pocket her little mask and that key.
Okay. So you search
Anything on
through
the
her
other
box.
ones?
Yeah, we'll say that probably Gitgrot and Farron give you a hand. What's Kalen doing while they're searching these bodies?
Kalen's just hanging out,
Okay,
taking a short rest.
yeah, kind of. Well, short rest is a good 30 minutes or more.
So then, all right. Well,
But
no,
you
just
could definitely keep an eye on things and make sure
yeah, I mean,
everybody's
he's just
safe.
kind of standing guard outside here then.
Perfect. Okay, very good. So, we're gonna say that you find. Let's see. How did you? Who was in there? Let me figure out who was in there. I gotta move some tokens around so I can do a quick count here. So you had 2 of these dudes.
Yeah, 3 scrolls. Oh,
Ca-
what about that?
Oops. I think that's all of them.
I mean, Kalen whooped ass. I mean, Kalen was
Yes,
just
you did.
kicking butt that last fight.
Okay. So the guy that was on the boulet, that dude had a what the heck is his weapon? He had like a spear. Kind of essentially a rod and oh no, it's a spear. It's a spear. Nothing particularly exciting about it. One thing is it's kind of like it's got this like lashing on it, leather strap essentially. So it almost gives you the feeling of like a harpoon.
Give that to Get Grot
if he wants it. Yeah.
Stuck without being able to hit something being far away.
Yeah, he can definitely chuck that like a javelin for sure. The Black Earth Guard, again, they carry these crazy stone morning stars, which imagine just a baseball bat made out of stone with like these like gnarly knobs and nubs on it. In fact, I think I can. Let me see if I can show you that image.
You mean like a ball and chain?
No, it's not
like
that
ninja
kind of
throwing star?
morning star. No.
Like a ball with spikes?
It's not a ball. It literally looks like a baseball bat.
Yeah, I think the way D&D normally does stuff is Morning Star's like a big chunky spiked club. When
Yes.
Normally it's like the ball and chain is what we call the Morning Star. But yeah, if you look at some of their videos, I think they call the ball and chain the flail.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. A
Well,
flail
has like multiple things though.
Yeah, it has like multiple little things.
It's
You know what's so funny about a morning star? This is a true historical fact. A morning star with like the ball and chain, it was never ever used in medieval history.
That's right.
How funny is that? It is a movie thing.
It is totally.
I've seen Greg with one made out of tennis balls, and you know I wouldn't recommend it either if I had a real spiked chain and spiked ball on the end.
I have one of those fakey ones.
Did he whack it in his face, Brett?
I've hit my arm.
No comment.
I've hit my hand with one. That wasn't fun. But yeah, so the Morning Star they have, if you could have seen that, if you looked at that image, they basically had these. It's like it's like a stone baseball bat with little knobs and nubs on it. So that's what they're essentially using. And they have this plate armor that's like made of stone, super freaking heavy. The cultists are similar to Helen Ray. They don't really have anything besides their masks and their robes. So you can definitely, if you wanted to, you could take, there are 3 masks and robes, as well as Helen Ray's mask and robe.
Well, it may not hurt for us to take as many, masks and robes as we can because we can disguise ourselves.
True. So yeah, I think we should take the 3.
I definitely agree.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So we'll assume you chuck those in the bag of holding.
Okay, so I'll just jot it down. They probably weigh next to nothing, I imagine.
Okay. All right. So, did you guys want to? For the moment, you don't hear anything. You don't see anything. Did you want to attempt to take a short rest here? You definitely found it's a fairly defensible position.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the ladies' robes. If we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna act like this Helen Ray chick if we need to.
All right. Are you
So
going to put them on right now?
Yeah, because here's my question: would we all be able to wear them? Do we have enough for everyone?
Well, there's essentially four robes and masks, and there's 4 of you right now.
Well, then I say we put them all on.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't
I'm going to take a little bit of time to try to knock, like with a dagger or something, some eye slits in this little thing so I can see. Considering she didn't have slits in there, I'm not going to walk around blind.
Give me a dexterity check.
All right.
See how skillfully you manage this.
Ugh, don't bomb this. All right. Too bad. Plus. Dexterity. Let's take the cover. I'm gonna pull up my character sheet in here.
Sure. Brett, did you see the message I sent you?
Sorry, I was muted. I did not. I am sorry.
So look in your Roll20 on the.
Oh, sorry, I left myself in the other.
No worries. No worries.
Okay.
17.
Answer is yes.
Okay. Seven. Okay, so yeah, you pull out your little dagger, and it's got a very, obviously, after the centuries that it's been in your family, it's got an incredibly finely honed edge, incredibly well made. So you kind of use it to trace an almond shape first with the point, and then you sort of poke through it. And you notice that these masks aren't all that well crafted. They're almost like you would find like a craft shop kind of thing. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not meant to be like sturdy, protect your face masks. They're really almost nothing more than just for show.
I mean, Gikra could have whittled one out of basically wood.
Almost, yeah. Hers is certainly substantially better than the others, because the others are basically just tin with like kind of a gold leaf sort of thing. Hers is slightly more solid than the others. But yeah, within, we'll say it takes about 5-10 minutes. You just kind of take your time, and with Gitgrot's kind of looking over your shoulder and giving you a couple pointers, since he was a smith, he's kind of just making sure you don't make any mistakes. But using your incredible dexterity, you managed to make it work very easily. And basically they have just like a silk tie, like 2 silk ties, or maybe not even silk, it might even just be like cotton or cloth or something that you can tie back behind your head.
Well, we're putting on monk stuff.
Right on.
Yeah. Where is the party? Are they in the small room, or are they in the cavern? Or are they like scattered across the doorway like the token show?
Kaylin's standing outside.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have walked back in there and put mine on.
Yeah, I imagine after
putting it over our armor and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So after searching
to my
the
little
bodies,
bear, to Teddy Ruxpin.
So I'm gonna clear out the baddies, so you guys don't have to stare at them anymore. So we know they're there, but let me just put them down on a different layer so that it's not as confusing to look at. And we will so we know there's some bodies there, unless you want to haul them out. Except that you're not going to be able to move that belay. It's kind of like crashed on the bed.
I say we just move the bodies into the room.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. So you take a little bit of time, drag them in there. That's going to take a little bit.
I tell my bear, squeeze through the door! Squeeze! Pushing on the back.
Right. Let's say with the bear's help, it takes you it's probably about 5 minutes to get them all in there. There's not that many. Sort of toss them in a corner.
Well, while they're doing that, they're going to hear a whistle with a, hey, you need a hand with that? coming from the well, you know where it's coming from, Greg. The entrance to the eastern entrance to the cavern.
I pick up my scimitar like I'm gonna chop somebody.
So Kalen, give me a perception check real quick.
Okay.
Yo, buddy, you like the second you hear it, because you're already on high alert. I should have given you an advantage almost. Your head kind of whips around, and you're like, you see a head poking over the like between where's my arrow here? So like sort of like you're looking this way, and you see a helmet actually. Is the light available at this moment for Basalan, or no? Is it covered?
Actually, yeah, at this point, what I would have done is I would have climbed up on the ledge.
Okay.
Probably like slightly out of sight.
So you could
come around like this position.
Okay, you should be able to move your tokens. So go ahead and put that where...
So you'll see is what appears to be a human, somewhere between a warrior and like just a standard cave explorer. I mean, he's not like loaded with massive weapons. Little bit older guy. He's probably about 40, but plate mail. He's got a light crossbow in one hand, and it's like totally out to the side, cocked but pointed at the ceiling, other hands up, and he's just sort of waving at you and approaching very cautiously and appears friendly. He's like, and as he comes, I yell out, "Hey, you need a hand with that." And then sort of without waiting for a response, he says, "My name is Basalan. I was sent by Sylvia Duran with a message for," and I forget who the message was supposed to be for. Is it written on the thing they gave me, Greg?
Greg?
Thank you. I forgot I was muted. Yeah. So you would have been... I think you would have been given the names of Kalen, Farron, and Kyra. I'm not sure they would have had Gitgrod's name. But at the very least, you would have had, for sure, Kalen and Farron and Kyra.
Okay, so Kalen, and who's who here? Obviously, I know that, but Kalen is the
Kalen
bard, right?
is the bard,
yep.
Right? Yeah, let me ping
So
the
they
map.
probably basically gave me a description. It sounds like Kyra's a little on the quieter side.
Yes.
So she probably, the queen would have told me, or whoever this is, the high mage would have told me who to talk to, like Kalen, or...
Yeah, you can't... I have not shown anybody. The only person who really knows my identity is Farron and probably Gitgrod, only because he was described.
And most people probably presume that Kyra is possibly a rogue or some kind of a priestess or something like this because of the clothing she's wearing. Very well. You could go ahead and describe. In fact, let's do a quick description, just so Brett gets the benefit of that. So everybody, let me. He sees Kalen first and foremost. So what is Kalen looking like?
So Kalen's I would say, what is he? Late 20s, early 30s. 6 feet tall, plush. Kind of fair hair, blonde eyes. He's a dual wielding bard. Yeah, has kind of a permanent 5 o'clock shadow going on his face. Always quick with a joke or light up your smoke and say, "Man, what are you doing here?" kind of thing. And very good. I'm sorry. Human. Oh, definitely human.
Actually, on that note, do you have... I can't recall where we left things. Do you have light at this moment still?
I have dark vision.
I gave him dark vision.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Yes, perfect.
Yeah, that kind of learned our lesson from the whole gargoyle incident.
Yes, exactly.
It was like, yeah, when we sleep, I'm making sure to slot this dark vision just for you.
Perfect.
Okay. I can probably go next with a fuller description of my character. So what you see is human male, as I said, about age 40. Appears to be a warrior type just by default. He's obviously not a wizard. You don't see any holy symbols, so he doesn't look like he's a priest. He's wearing plate mail, so probably not a rogue. but he doesn't strike you as like, the knight in shining armor. He's got plate mail, but it's sort of worn. It's almost like looks like it's been rubbed with charcoal or something, so it's not really shiny. His helmet has actually got like a little cage mounted in the forehead. He's got some sort of like a glowing or flaming stone in there, which is giving him like basic light, but it sort of makes him look almost like a cave miner. Those old guys where they'd have like the candle on the brim of their hat. He has a shield, but it's a somewhat small shield. I mean, it's
Like a
decent
buckler?
size, but it's not as big as you'd normally expect. He's got a short sword on one hip and a light crossbow, but he's not like the knight with the long sword and all this. You see a coil of rope on his hip, a big full backpack. He's got what appears to be a wood cutting axe thrown over his back. And he's like a little cautious, but generally open. He's sort of like tentatively approaching. As long as Kalen's not looking threatening or telling him to halt. He takes his helmet off so people can see his face a little bit better, and aims the light so it illuminates him. But that's sort of like your first impression. He's like 5'10", medium build, not like some huge Hulk, but he's certainly not scrawny. But you can see he's got a good number of scars on his face, not like anything massive, but a good number of dings this guy's taken over the years.
Awesome. And Kyra, to answer your question, it is a full size shield, but just on the it's like a round size, about like the size of what we would say is a garbage can, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah, like trash can lid. It's not like a buckler, but it's also not like a 2 foot by 4 foot shield like you
Tower
might
shield.
expect.
Okay.
That could be carried.
Farron, he is, if he pokes his head out and kind of walks out to kind of look to see what's going on, he's fairly tall. He's 6'2". He is about late 20s, dark brown, wavy hair, fair skin. He's a half elf. And he's a sorcerer. So he just got that armor, that mithril. Other than that, it would have been like, I think he was wearing something medium, but I don't remember. But anyways, that's what he looks like. Kyra, you cannot see what she looks like. But what you see is she's not really shy per se. She just knows that people have aversion to what she is. So she is head to toe fully covered with like a kind of like a I mean, okay, just put it this way. Basically, probably only her eyes are visible. Because and even with that, it's like you kind of have to like look under her
Cowl.
her little because it's down pretty low. And but however, she does have this really elegant, very expensive silk royal blue kind of little robe on, in essence, or over her with an insignia on it from a noble household.
She's wearing leather, right?
Yeah, studded leather.
And so she has the cloak over her leather armor, which is what she uses to hide her face. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so she's got
It's
like
not
a
like
sash.
it's not like a. I mean, hold on. She actually
So she's got
has,
like a sash or something.
No,
and
I
then, like,
take that
a hood over it?
back. No, the cloak is actually different because that's a magical cloak. But she has like the hood from her actual like thing on her head,
from her
and that
family.
has from her family, and that has a little insignia on there that you could probably see if you got closer and looked at it.
Okay, and this is before they start putting on the monk robes.
Yeah, I imagine we were in the process of getting ready to, and then heard that, and it was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, they
if I
would.
saw that, I
Gitrot
would
would
be like,
certainly step out of the room as soon as he heard you. I'll do a quick description of Gitrot. So he is a fairly stockily built dwarf, and he is wearing full plate, as well as the. Wait a second. Dang it! I just did not mean to do that. I just put Gitrot on the wrong layer. Sorry about that.
He's got some planar instability he's suffering from at the moment.
And token layer. Let's see if I did that right. There we go. Okay, there's Gitrot. He is wearing, as I mentioned, he's wearing full plate, and he is gosh, I forget the color of his beard. Dang it. But he is dwarven. I think it's blonde, right? Yeah. So he's got long blonde hair, a blonde beard tied in braids, and you kind of get the sense he definitely has a holy symbol on his shield, which is pretty obvious, but you also get the sense that like he doesn't strike you immediately as a holy man. He looks like he would be more comfortable in a smithy. He's got these thick ropes for arms, just like really massively built, but at the same time has kind of a glint in his eye. He doesn't look like a dour dwarf by any means. And
Okay.
so that's
Do I
the
see a
party.
holy symbol?
Yeah, definitely. Moradin. Holy symbol
Okay.
of Moradin. I believe you would recognize that. Moradin's a fairly well known.
Yeah. And I've been hanging out with a dwarven priest for years.
Yes,
so
that's what I'm
trust me, I
thinking.
know.
You especially would probably recognize it. So
Okay. So I sort of, I call out, or call out again if they haven't responded. I'm from, I forget, I don't think you ever told me what the city is. But yeah, Sylvia Duran, the High Mage of Agick, sent me to look for you. She actually teleported me outside the dungeon here with information for you. There's been another elemental attack, and she wanted me to relay that to you and give you warning that these Earth cultists appear to be dangerous.
Well, thanks. We kind of already gathered that,
Happy to help.
but we appreciate you coming all this way to inform us.
And you do have a sealed letter. You have a sealed letter that you were asked to deliver as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pretty much put my helmet back on and still approach slowly if they're okay with that. I'll still have the crossbow at the side, or I'll just sling it over my shoulder. And then I'll sort of reach and pull out the letter and say, "You must be Kalen." I assume I've got a basic description of them.
Yep.
Yes, I am indeed Kalen, and I sheathe my swords into their sheaths.
Yeah.
And Sylvia Duran gave you the implication that it was perfectly acceptable for you to read this with the others when you should all read it together essentially once you were there. And
oh, cool.
Okay.
there is
Yeah.
This is what the letter says.
Yeah, I won't have looked at it. I mean, I assume she sort of told me what
It was
in
sealed.
it.
Yeah, it was sealed with the king, with her seal, and but it was like her royal seal or whatever, not her personal seal, her like seal of office or whatever.
Okay.
So it says, "Noble adventurers, your companions Matthias and Torm returned with the grave news about the developing cults on the edge of our kingdom. Furthermore, as the brave warrior bearing this missive can attest, during your absence there has been a third attack on the city by elementals, this time earth elementals. Suffice to say, the king wants this matter dealt with, in his words, immediately. Therefore, due to your previous assistance in this matter, by order of the king, you are hereby authorized to use whatever means it requires to bring this matter to an end. Barring the elimination of this cult, or cults, as it seems based on your reports, any and all information gathered will be rewarded. Thank you, and return safely. Sylvia Duran, High Mage of Agick."
So I read that, and I then, I hand it to Kyra, and I say, "Thanks, my good man." And I flip him a copper.
Oh, Kyra is dying.
I'm just kidding. I'm not that much of a dick.
Okay.
I'm not that much of a dick.
Oh my God, Kyra would have just fell out and rolled on the floor.
Kyra, you're not even out here. So I turn to Gikrot, and I say, "Gikrot."
Well, I'm kind of watching from the door.
Okay, so I turn to Gikrot, and I said, "Read this, my friend. It seems like at least Matthias and Torm have made it back." And I reach out and I say, what's his name? Basilin? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Basilon.
Basilin. Hey, I'm Kalen. Pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming all this way. And I extend my hand out.
Yeah, you as well. I give him a good hearty handshake. I say I was, came to the city to visit a friend of mine I used to serve with when we were in the army, and there was the attack right at the point while I was there, and I sort of helped out with my associate there, and they pretty much, the Sylvia had asked my friend, if he knew anyone who was, capable of coming on down. He's a captain of the guard at the city, and conveniently I was there, and well, here I am now. I was, sort of a freelance adventure the last year since my friend got pulled back to his temple duties, and was just sort of looking for something to do, and figured this was a good place to come and help out delivering the message. It's like if you guys are looking for aid, I'd be happy to help out for a little bit. Looks like you've been having some action down here.
We have, and we could certainly use some extra help. I will defer to my other comrades to agree, but it's not just my decision. But I would welcome the extra help wholeheartedly. Obviously, you have some skill to find your way down here, even though any kind of like breathes on his kind of fingernails. We cleared out all the levels beforehand. It still takes a brave man to come all this way, and we could certainly use your help.
Yes, I noticed it was not a hard trail to follow. The greatest threat to me was slipping in all the blood and injuring myself on the way down here. But fortunately, I have excellent agility and was able to avoid such hazards.
Wonderful, my friend. He claps Basilin on the back and kind of turns to the rest of the group and says, I think we could use the help. What say you all?
That means you, Kyra.
Followed by cricket. Well, then I'll take that copper and head back to the surface now.
Kyra kind of walks up and how tall are you?
I'm about
really tall.
If you're asking me, like 5'10", sort of. I'm very average looking for a human. He's you can see he's fit and strong, but he's not like a huge Hulk. He's
not Conan the Barbarian.
Like sort of an ordinary looking guy, almost like a soldier in the guard type. Except the short sword's a little weird. You haven't seen too many humans wielding a short sword before, much less crawling in dungeons with nothing but a short sword and a medium-sized shield.
I kind of look him down and I was like, yeah, if you want. And then I turn around and I'm like, Teddy, come on. I'm trying to squeeze him out while y'all are talking.
Definitely. Did I give you pull
control? On his spur. Trying to get to the door.
How long is she around? The cave bear around? Yeah, you have control of it, so you can.
An hour.
Okay, perfect. So we'll say at this point it's been about a half an hour. By the time you guys,
wow.
So maybe 20 minutes. What 20?
Because if that's the case, we could have had a short rest, right? Because short rest is like.
I'll say if you wait another 10, 15 minutes and kind of like chill out, have something to drink, some rations or whatever, we can give you the benefit of a short rest. Because you've been talking. It took you a few minutes to, dialogue back and forth and do your introductions. You took 5 or 10 minutes searching through the bodies, another 5 or 10 minutes dragging them into the room. That's why I'm thinking about 20-ish minutes.
Okay.
So we'll say if you wait another 15 minutes, you got about another 25 minutes or so with the bear, and at this point you've kind of caught your breath. If you want to spend some hit dice, by all means. I think Gitgrot would probably use one.
I just want my spell slot back.
yeah, me too. That and all my inspiration back. I need it.
Yeah, that 4th level would be very nice.
Exactly.
Against that craziness.
Right. So a short rest gets our spells back?
No. Well, mine go half.
She's a druid, so hers is different.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I'd still get my inspiration back on a short rest.
This is correct. And again, I think Gitgrot's going to spend maybe 1 hit die. I'll take care of that.
I'll go to the others and just sort of introduce myself and shake hands personally.
Right. Perfect.
Well, while you're doing that, Kaylin asked Basilin. So, Basilin, on your way through here, did you explore some of the other rooms? Is there any information that you can tell us further about the caverns down here? Because we haven't explored that deeply as of yet.
I have not. Sylvia has sort of been following you with a clairvoyance, so she sort of gave me a general direction of where to go, but based on the depth in the rock, she wasn't able to teleport me straight to you. So she sort of gave me a instructions of where to go, and I pretty much just followed the blood trails. Fortunately, I don't have any new information I can really help you with. But,
I pipe up and say, "Hey, did you happen to see a naked dwarf running around?"
if I did, I would have hoped to forget it by now.
Yeah, we kind of left. Well, okay. And
I don't think I did, I assume.
Give me a perception roll.
Me?
Yeah.
Because there was one out there.
Oh, wait, I got to figure out how to play everything here.
Was
So
it really?
Yeah, we left it. We left
If
it
you want to
naked.
use the dice, that's totally fine, Brett. I'm
I'm just trying to. I got to figure this out anyway. So where's my character? Okay, there's my character. So,
Gikrot got back 13 hit points. That's kind of nice.
That is nice.
And that was
The
just
computer
one,
is
one
not
die.
always kind.
It is not, but
Like
all
last game, like Gregory couldn't roll anything over like a 10 or something.
yeah, so you saw some signs of you basically followed the party in, because here's what happened. Torm and Matthias had provided enough of a description of their campsite that Sylvia was able to use that as a spot, and that was a fair hike in to the monastery. So she teleported you there. And you hiked in. You saw. I mean, you kind of have this skill already. You're a little bit of a tracker. Not certainly not a ranger, but you have a sense of things and how to follow tracks somewhat. And you did see mostly the freshest tracks were the ones heading in. And you saw, once you got to the monastery, there was like a track around the monastery that seemed like patrols. You found the remnants of a fight. You saw a couple of we'll say you would probably know what a Duergar is. So some deep dwarves, and you saw a couple of dead ones outside the monastery, and you definitely saw some tracks that seemed to be something or someone running away from the another set of tracks running away from the monastery. So you saw some signs, but you didn't see a naked dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah, we sure did leave him out there.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a fairly easy path to follow. It might have taken you a little bit of time once you got in the monastery to find the stairs down. But that once you got to the stairs down, then there was a trail of blood from Helen Ray that the party had followed to find out where she went. And so it was, as it was for them to follow her, it wasn't that hard to, their footprint here, blood drop there, bloody handprint over here, and that kind of thing. And then once you got down to the steps, so essentially what happened for you two, for the benefit of Kyra and Kaylin and the others when they listened, what happened is Basalan came down the stairwell looking for you all, and essentially when he got down to the stairwell, he or the bottom of the stairwell, he heard the combat like just a few moments ago. Kind of came as quickly as he could into this chasm just off to the east, and observed you all for a second to try to get a lay of the land and see what happened, and watched as you dispatched these minions, and then that's a few moments later is when he said, okay, this is who I'm looking for, and stepped out.
So there was at least 5 of those monks. So I take off the mask and, one of them say, well, if you're joining us here, and I just toss them to him.
Yeah, that's fine. At some point or other, we'll say if it wasn't here, you could pick up another one easily, or you might have picked one up already. So I think you did, actually, if I remember right. You had at least one of them that you had thrown into the bag of holding. So
Okay.
So
And these are like brown robes or something?
Yeah, essentially just simple robes and a kind of fakey golden mask. It's styled to look like a gargoyle. Essentially, it's a tin mask with like some gold leafy paint or something on it to like make it look like it's actually gold, but it's not.
Okay.
Sweet. All right, so you guys do your time, you relax, some water, some rations or what have you, some jerky, and
Yeah,
feel
I sort
feel
of inspect the
rested.
bodies that they've recently killed while giving the bear a wide berth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If I notice that, I'm gonna say Teddy's friendly. Aren't you? So he's cuter than my Spideys.
I'll sort of look at the bear and then you and back to the bear and sort of give you a bit of a gruff nod and say nothing.
It's like,
No more Spideys.
yeah, Spideys.
Halen does not like the Spideys.
Well, okay. And I'm just kind of I'm hoping he's squeezed through by now.
Oh yeah, he can get through the door. It's not. It's. I mean, it's 3 feet wide. He can. Even though he's a big creature, he could get through that. Yeah,
I'm gonna climb on his back.
All right,
because
perfect.
I climb on every one of my creatures'
Yes,
backs.
you do. Cool. Perfect.
Ew, I imagine it's like.
So here I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. So the Sacred Stone monks normally wear hooded robes and gargoyle masks made of gilded tin that cover their faces. So that's what you guys have put on. Gilded tin masks.
Yeah, I will put the robe on, but I'm not going to put on the mask. And I won't put the hood up. I need to keep my
Sure.
peripheral vision, just
Sure.
sort of his general instincts.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll put the
In a
mask
pinch,
up,
you
like,
could
hanging
throw-
around
yeah,
my throat or something.
Okay, so you said
Sure.
you're a human, right?
He
Yes.
is.
Okay. Hold on. Let me just take a look. See here at my spell slots, because if I go give Kaylin dark vision and then now we have to have a light, it really makes no sense whatsoever.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I want to see
I
how many
can
slots I have.
cover my thing. It's almost got like a little clamshell lid on it, just for those purposes. Though I'm sort of blind with it.
Actually, at
Um,
some point during the break, Farron started grilling you about this. He's pretty fascinated by it. Like, how was that constructed and this kind of thing?
Yeah, it's and I'll talk to him about it. I'm like, well, it's a stone of continual flame that I received from my dwarven friend because he kept grouching about me bumping into everything in the dark. And then we just sort of found a local smith to put this together. And it's just sort of a basic sort of sturdy cage there that you put the stone in with a little flip lid up front that I can use to either take it out and then also just like shield it entirely. Or I assume I can leave just a little bit of a crack so I don't trip over my own feet.
Yep. Imagine
but-
like a clamshell, like a metal clamshell, with like some kind of silk or some kind of material, soft material, dark material in it.
Yeah.
So when it closes, the stone is pretty much totally black. You don't see a darn
almost
thing.
like a jewelry box mounted to the front of the helmet.
Yeah, very cool.
Cool. Very cool.
Okay, because I would have probably said something like, "Do you sure? Because I can give you some dark vision, so we can kind of put that out." I mean, we have had problems with having light.
We have
I
had
can
quite the
certainly understand.
quandary.
My last party was primarily folks without dark vision, so we just got used to illuminating the entire world as we walked.
Yeah. So as he says that, I cast dark vision on him anyways.
Sure.
Like I'm kind of like going, "Oh, are you sure?" Yeah, I'm giving it to you anyways. Turn that
Alright.
thing off.
Okay,
Cool.
I'll snap it shut. I assume the light interferes with dark vision.
Yes.
Probably.
It's
because
kind of
if you have dark vision, it's like night vision. I always assumed. Like
That's what I always.
It's kind of a gray area. They don't say that it does specifically.
No pun intended.
But yeah. So we're giving you the drippy eye that you have dark vision now, just like Kaylin.
Yeah, like stabbed you in the eyes.
But
Okay.
it's
I'm
it's
all-
more. It doesn't. So the way it works is you have light and then dim light, like your light spell. It's a 20-foot radius of light, bright light. and then another 20 feet of dim light. So you can see out 40 feet. Dark vision allows you to see 60 feet. So you can see 60 feet as if it was in dim light. In no light, you can see 60 feet as if it was dim light.
Okay, and it lasts 8 hours.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, I'll ask her. I'm like, thank you, ma'am. And how long does the spell last? I'm looking it up here, so yeah, I can see it lasts 8 hours. But Jocelyn doesn't know spells that well.
Give or take a third a day, something like that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I appreciate it. I owe you one.
Oh, no problem.
Pay the woman a copper.
Yes. Since you owe me one, just pet the bear, scratch him behind his ears. That'll be a payment.
Okay.
I'm literally smiling behind my mask because.
Yeah, I will. He's experienced enough to know there's weird shit that goes on, especially in adventuring parties. He's sort of tolerant of it, but he's a little apprehensive as he goes up and pets the bear and goes, "Good fuzzy."
I kind of poke Teddy behind it, so he kind of goes like that.
Okay, I like snap my hand back.
Like, oh, he's a sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume some of the corpses in the other room have bear marks on them.
Actually, no. He just popped up this fight. So nope. Usually, if you saw anything, you would have seen like webs around certain bodies.
The spider bear.
Spider today, bear tomorrow. And I say, after the rogue?
Excuse me?
I look at Farron and say, after the rogue. Like, as in,
which
are we
way?
getting ready to go?
Where are we? What are we going?
We gotta go catch Snaky Face.
Yes, we do.
And if you're first, then if you get turned to stone, then I can go the other direction. Just kidding.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Pardon me, someone's saying getting turned to stone. Is this the real reason you gave me dark vision?
No. I just thought of that now. No. I literally don't say anything. I just look down and start petting my bear.
Oh, is that what all you kids are calling it nowadays? Petting the bear.
Petting the bear. No.
Kaylin nudges Get Grot, winks at him. Yeah, we both know. She's petting the bear all right.
Sometimes I forget. Aaron walks up. But can we, since we're all lights out now, stealth?
Yes.
I shall attempt to move as quietly as possible.
Okay. Like, yes.
All right, so let's get stealth rolls from everybody. Do you want me to handle Gikrot, or can you guys?
Yeah. Or unless Michelle wants to do it.
Well, I think Michelle would do Farron.
Yeah. So it's a bit much.
I'll take care of it. That's fine. I don't want you guys to have to. All right, so stealth from everybody. He's got disadvantage on stealth. Oh, hey, I wanted to set something up, so I'm gonna have you guys do this right now.
Okay.
Brett, yours is taken care of. Everybody else, open up your character sheet, and then click on the cog wheel under your character name. There is a button, so all the way to the right of the character sheet, down below experience points, there is a little button called Roll 2.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just click that, and now, from now on, it's always going to roll 2 rolls. If you have advantage, we'll take it. If you have disadvantage, we'll take it. If you don't, we're just taking the first roll. It just saves us from having to mess around with, oh, do I have advantage, disadvantage? Do I need to change it on my die roller? Now, obviously, Michelle, you generally aren't doing that, but that way it's just easier for me to deal with.
Okay.
So like, and it
Right,
automatically, so like Basalan is wearing plate armor. It's automatically calculated that he's got disadvantage, so it gives me the little red dot to remind me that he's got disadvantage. You follow?
One question though, I've got an ability where I get to add half my proficiency bonus to any strength, dexterity, or constitution check that doesn't already use it.
Oh,
Now,
cool.
in this case, would I get that? So I'd actually have an additional +2. It says half round up.
Yeah, and we can correct that on your yeah, we can correct that on your character sheet. So for now I will just go ahead and do it, we'll just do it manually or whatever. We'll add the 2, but you have
Okay,
what is that?
I've got it
I tell
flagged.
you,
There's
this-
only a few of them that would apply to. It's really just like sleight of hand and stealth checks.
Is
Everything
that
else
the heavy armor master, or what does that come from?
I think that is my 6th level as a champion archetype.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Let me double check that. I've got it. I'm working off my hard copy sheet here, just so I've got everything in a spot where I know where to find it.
Perfect.
Um,
Sorry about that double roll. My mouse has been doing this weird double click thing lately, so I'm taking the first one. So Gitrot got an 11 for his
First
stealth.
it's petting the bear, now it's double clicking your mouse. I'm starting to get a trend with you guys.
Oh, you'll get that trend.
Yeah,
pretty
we
soon.
get into the gutter at least once a night.
Every group has that trend.
All right.
Yeah, remarkable athlete. Starting at 7th level, you can add half your proficiency bonus, round up to any strength, dex, or constitution check. Would that apply to saving throws?
I am not sure. We'll have to look into that. Let me check something because
Well, I guess it depends on what it says specifically.
you might have
It'll
that.
specifically say saving throws if it is saving throws.
What's that called? It's called remarkable athlete. So here, Brett, I'm gonna go ahead and click that for you, and it'll automatically do that now. There you go. So did you see where I did that?
Nope.
On your sheet, do you see your sheet open, or do you have your sheet open?
Open my sheet. So you said it's under the cogwheel?
Whoops, no. For that, it's on the first page. Hold on, switch back
Under
to the
core?
core. Yeah, you see right under
Yeah, I
racial
see you changing it to
traits.
+5.
Well, right under racial traits, there's like the fighter abilities and all this stuff. So you're a fighter, which is clicked. You have fighting style, second wind, action surge, remarkable athlete. Do you have indomitable? I don't think you do.
I do not think so.
Okay, so there you go. So we just added remarkable athlete. So now
Oh, I see. So it was already pre-programmed.
yeah, but we just didn't have it selected. So
Okay, got it. And yeah, it doesn't look like it applies
Boom.
to saving throws, but
and
it did
but it
apply
did
to
just bump your
stealth and sleight of hand. So,
There you go.
okay,
All right,
so I am not quite as terrible trying to stealth and plate mail as others would assume.
right. So
I'm
we'll
just
add 2 to
mediocre.
that one, which is going to be.
I mean, gosh.
oh no, wait,
Farron
it's
is-
3, right? Half your
Proficiency, but my proficiency is +3, so this would be +2 of adds.
yes. Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. All right, so there you go. So you guys, as quietly as possible, we need a roll for Farron and cert 13 for Kyra, and Kaylin is 11. Okay, so you guys go clunking towards the door, and so I'm assuming you're gonna. Well, are you gonna go out through the double door, or are you going out through this chasm?
I was going out through the double door.
Okay, that is, as far as you could tell, that is the way that Marlos took off.
I'm gonna whisper. Hey, do you guys have like a standard, order in which you guys, adventure? And if so, where should I be? Or do you just sort of place yourselves where it makes sense, at the time?
Usually, Farron tries to stay roughly 20 feet ahead, and everybody else just tries to not make noise.
Okay.
This is truthful.
Theoretically, we need a
I'm going for my bear.
and get Grotter in the front.
yeah, generally, but
Yeah. And yeah, I'm towards the kind of the back.
Well, get
But
Grot short. I can
but
see your
I'm more
top.
than happy, Baslin, to have you take the lead. So if you would like to go in front of me, act as my shield, that would be fine.
If you like, I can be up front. I am not stealthy.
neither is
but-
Gitgrot.
Yeah,
That's and then Farron pipes up and says, "That's why I stay ahead." 20 feet.
yeah,
And he just kind of shakes his head.
yeah.
Actually,
Normally,
Gitgrot
I've always
says,
been-
I'm the stealthiest person in this party. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Boslin says normally my role has always been to guard the wizard, stay close to him or her as best possible, and then, once combat's engaged, move to where it makes most sense. But, I'm sort of at your disposal here. Not to mean that I am disposable, but, you know your team, so sort of let me know what you'd like, and I'll do my best to work along with you.
Okay, so we'll say that Farron checks the door, and it just seems to be a standard. It's like it's not locked or anything.
Is it like not trapped or yeah?
It doesn't seem to be, and again, you kind of heard / saw Marlos slip. Or you didn't actually see it, but you assume that he slipped through the doors at some point, because that was the way he was heading. You might have caught a glimpse of him doing that actually. So. Let me double check for the doors here. I don't, as far as I know, that one's fine. But okay, so these are double hinged iron doors, or sorry, double hinged doors that have iron hinges. It is yeah. And they swing in towards you guys. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. They would actually swing out away from you.
Are they both shut? Well, we can't really see the hinges if they swing away from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they're currently shut. That's what I'm just waiting. Did you want? If I'm assuming, Farron's gonna open it.
Gonna listen perception before he just kind of.
All right.
He's gonna probably crack it just a little bit and then kind of.
I sort of ready my crossbow without looking like I'm going to shoot anyone by accident.
Fair good, fair enough. I guess since you handed it to him, Gitgrot will probably get the spear ready. When you open the door, you see in front of you, similarly, the stonework and all that is now worked stone, whereas the room you're in had these like flows of natural formed stone, with the exception of the floor. Now you're looking at a corridor, and right in front of you, 10 feet, it tees to the east and west.
Okay, so he's just gonna listen.
It is a dark hallway. You do not see any light. So he kind of perks up his ears and sounds quiet.
So he's gonna slip through and be like, I'll let you know if I see anything. He'll come, I guess it's hard. He can't really come to the edge, but he wants to kind of look around the corner before he goes. Wah!
Yes. All right, so he slips to the corner and sort of gets a look. Gets a look in both directions there. This friggin' mouse is really bugging me lately. He sees again a corridor going east and west. Excuse me. He can quickly surmise and figure out from looking both directions that it goes a very short distance to the east, about 10 feet, before turning with another T to the south, and then going another 10 feet further to the east and coming to a single door. This is one of the stone doors that swings on the central hinge. Or on a central pivot point, I should say. The other direction, it seems to go down a little bit farther, about a 40-foot corridor that seems to tee to the north and south.
Yeah, he's going to ignore this door right here because he's going to feel like that kind of came back where we started.
Before he gets too far out of sight, I'm going to very quietly step forward just a little bit and see if I can see any sign that anyone else has passed this way, like, bloody handprints on the wall, scuff marks on the floor, sort of before the other characters come in. I'm not much of a tracker, but at least I can take a quick peek and see if anything jumps out.
Yeah, so give me a perception check.
Yeah, and Farron said 20 feet anyways, so Ooh.
So it's it's hard to tell, especially with these guys having just walked through here. It just looks like it's a dusty corridor.
Okay.
You don't really see anything that catches your eye.
Does Farron see anything?
Yeah, I'm not even certain the other characters have passed down this corridor ahead of me yet. But...
Right. Just a second.
I would probably say somebody probably told you that we did not do that.
Sorry about
I
that. I
mean,
was kind of twisted up in my headset. So
especially if you were saying, if you look like you were looking for tracks, somebody would have had that conversation with you. Like, no, we didn't even come this way.
Okay.
I know Kyra would have, at least.
No, I was just, I've heard you guys talking about, you're trying to follow someone that ran this direction. So I was just going to take a quick peek to see if I could help tell which way they went.
So Farron sees another corridor heading south, and he believes it looks like there is a room opening up about at some point.
Okay.
After about 20 feet, it looks like it opens up into a small room. Or, well, he can't tell the size of it, but it looks like it opens up into a room.
So before he goes that
and
way,
then also he sees that the corridor
go this
continues further to the south. And let me scroll this out a little bit so it's anybody that's watching can actually see what the heck everybody else is seeing.
I'm going to sort of cover him around the corner with a crossbow.
Yeah, he's going to come back this way and take a look the other way so he can kind of tell them, hey, which way you want to go. Like,
Sure.
This is what's happening.
All right, so he...
take a peek around.
Mm-hmm. He tip-taps back that direction and takes a quick look in both directions. He sees to the south, it opens up into a...
See this way?
Yeah, there you go. So it opens up into what he would say would be like a smallish room, essentially. It's more like a wider corridor. So it's almost like 20 feet wide here. And again, in this whole place, the ceilings are about like 15 feet tall, 15 feet high. Again, just very well carved stone.
He's gonna just kind of hold up a finger, like 1 second, real quick, and he's gonna come this way. He wants to try to take a look before he tells anybody what he sees, because right now he sees nothing, like literally just hallways, and that doesn't make any sense. So he's gonna poke his head around there, and can he see anything to this direction? And then he'll probably come back and just tell them what he saw, which was pretty much nothing.
Kyra, I forgot to tell Kyra when she looked. You did find throughout the bodies 57 gold pieces.
Ooh, that's nice.
That was, yeah. I'm sorry I overlooked that. So
I do tell everybody that I found the gold pieces, but I put it in my pocket because that
sure.
bag of holding is literally
busting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you have to clear it out pretty soon. All right. So he sneaks, or at least he believes he sneaks up that direction, and sees.
We need another bag of holding. So yeah, what does he see there? And then he'll come back and tell them.
Well, it's hard to tell. It sort of looks like it might be another corridor that seems to have branches at irregular intervals to the north.
Okay, so he comes back.
So it goes about. It looks like it goes about 50-ish feet beyond where he stopped. With every 10 feet, so 10 feet there's a corridor, then there's 10 feet of wall, 10 feet of corridor, 10 feet of wall, 10 feet of corridor, sort of like that. That's kind of what it looks like. That might not be what's actually happening, but from where he stood, that's what it looked like.
He describes everything and says, it's basically which way do you want to go? There's a room, there's lots of rooms, corridors. Which way do you want to go? And we'll go that way.
Did you hear anything from any of the directions?
With my 8 perception. No, I did not.
I suggest we check the door nearby. No point leaving hostiles behind us.
Okay.
I agree.
And he says, after you.
Wait, so it's at that moment. Funny you should mention, because at that moment, the door creaks open.
Oh, wonderful.
Of course it does.
The door creaks open, and you hear two. Oh, well, you hear someone say, what's it?
Bring out your dead.
He says,
Yeah. Hello,
right, bring
governor.
him
Cockney. It's not very nice.
He says, well, I suppose we'll have to get back to our shift. At least I got a full stomach now. And
Aim for the stomach.
Farron's like, over there is a cafeteria. No, it's a mess hall.
Let me do something here. Oh my gosh, this mouse is driving me nuts. And so through the door, you see what you have already determined to be these Black Earth Guards, we're going to call them. The guys with the stone armor and the stone morning stars. He says, the other one says to him, yeah, well, I don't know. At least they're good for something. They can cook right well. And then the other one turns around and kind of stops in his tracks because he sees
Kalen. And Kalen, but right when he was running up there to be next to Farron, when he heard all this going on, pushes kind of Basilan back and says, get back, because we're all in disguises.
Yeah, I'll
That's
quickly
true.
put on my mask and a hood when I hear the voices.
Let me check something.
That is true. Yeah, I
whisper to get
inside.
right?
Teddy's gonna stay inside.
Because last thing we need is to deal with another. Well, I mean, we could easily take these two pansies, but be nice not to. I would like to use a little deception.
Okay.
Get us out of this.
Okay. All right. Tell me what you got.
All right. So Kalen seeing these, their chums, so to speak, sees them coming. So it turns out, oh, you're complaining about getting any food. We haven't had anything to eat in hours. How about going and getting us something while we stand in guard here?
All right. Give me a deception roll.
We haven't had nothing but maggoty bread in 3 days.
Exactly.
He wants some meat. Bear's tasty.
Oh, come on. All right. So let's see what his. Let's see if he can. So he rolled a 1 on his insight check.
Yes. So he goes and gets his food.
So, not exactly, but you at least have convinced him that you're one of them. But he kind of looks at you and he sort of looks down on you. Because you remember you're wearing the robes and the mask, right? So
right.
He sort of looks. He's kind of like, right. Who do you think you are ordering me round? Go get it yourself. And he points back behind him.
All right. No need to be a cunt about it. I'll go and get it myself. And then Kalen starts to, I guess, walk. To go and get some food.
All right, so what did I'm going to let you guys decide. What did Farron do?
Farron is going to do the whole yawn like he's tired kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of lean against the wall right here.
All right.
Yeah, just kind of lean against the wall. Tyra is hearing this and going, yeah, bear? So she's just gonna kind of ride. She's not coming out.
She straddled Teddy Rocks.
Yeah.
Do these guys have a light source on them?
There is light spilling out from behind them.
And were these corridors otherwise dark, or they're like torches here and there?
They're so far all you can see is that they're dark torches.
Yeah, they're dark.
Okay.
Dark corridors, rather. The guy in front does not have a torch. I'm gonna say the guy behind him does. And I will give him what the hell token works good for a torch.
I will quietly sling my crossbow and draw my short sword. I'm going to sort of hug against the wall there out of sight.
All right.
If Kyra doesn't essentially hear any battle,
What was Kalen doing?
He was moving slowly towards that room where he's assuming there's food to just,
Okay. All right.
play
So
along with the facade.
he's kind of eyeballing you. You have the mask on, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So he's kind of eyeballing you, but again, he apparently, at least he seems to have believed your ruse. And the guy behind him is just like, he pushes out behind him. He says, "What? One of the freshies giving you a little lip then, huh?" And he kind of chuckles, and he's laughing at him, like you can tell he's giving him a ribbing. And then the first one says, he kind of sees Farron leaning against the wall, and he says, "What are you doing, What are you doing standing out here anyway? Marlowe's changing the guard rotation or something now."
Yeah, Marlo told us to stay out here. Sorry, masters. Didn't mean no offense.
I should have said the Earth Prophet. He wouldn't have used Marlos's name. He would have said the Earth Prophet. He said, "The Earth Prophet changing the guard rotations up now."
Oh yes, he was telling us to come out here. Masters. We just do as we told, even if we is hungry in the bellies.
All right. And he is he kind of like grunts at you and seems satisfied with your story. Since he's sort of taking the lead, the two of them seem to, let me double check something here, guys. I gotta check a reference note. Yeah. He looks at the other one and says, "Well, we better go check with Mirage and see what the new rotations are." And then the two of them start walking, and they head off in...
But I thought they wouldn't know Mirage, that they would call him the Earth Prophet.
No, you have not heard that name before.
Okay, so they're saying that,
Mirage.
so I don't know. Okay,
Mirage, he said.
Mirage.
Mirage.
Okay, Mirage.
He is, where the hell is he? He's over there. Okay, so yeah, so they start heading to the south and sort of let you. It looks like they're gonna let you pass.
Oh, good. Kalen kind of just moves here very slowly, and can he see Greggy down this hallway here? Hold on, let me see something. Could he see, like?
Yeah.
I guess I want to see where they're going.
Well, I mean,
as far as I can without making it obvious, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I want to see if they're making a left or a right.
Give me another stealth check.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah, so you make as if you're heading past and maybe even slide the door closed. So it seems like you actually went into what you assumed to be a mess hall.
Right.
Just from the brief look, you see like a bench in there that looks like, like a table that you would sit at for chow. You've seen enough mess halls to know. And then you kind of poke your head back around the corner. You see them. Give me a perception check to see how much you catch.
Like it. Let's see.
Oh yeah, so you are very quick and deft.
I mean, I'm pretty much omniscient right now.
Well, you see, they turn to their right, which would
They're
be
right,
to the
okay.
west. They turn to the west. Okay, this
Thank you,
direction.
to the west. Yep, I
This
got you.
direction here, and they sort of make some. You know what? I'm gonna give you it. I think you saw it. So they turn they turn there, and you see them do like this kind of this hand gesture, as if they're paying
like
homage
old
or
school,
something.
like thieves' hand can't type of thing.
It doesn't seem to be. You don't know the thieves can't, but you don't think that's what it is.
Okay,
It seems more like
but a similar type of concept.
the
It's like a secret kind of.
no.
No.
It seemed more like some kind of sign of respect is how you. It was almost like a salute is the way you read it from their body
Roger that.
gestures
I'm
and their
tracking.
yeah. They've kind of both stand there for just a moment, raise their hands, make what you would call like a triangular symbol with their palm, like their two thumbs together and their two fingers together, just like
Well,
this.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah. They just kind
We'll
of
be
like
back in 2 minutes, guys, and bio break.
Oh yeah, in fact, let's do that. Perfect for everybody.
Perfect.
We'll take a
All right,
quick
quick
break
bio.
right now. Let me pause
Short
the-
rest.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Short
Short for the real
Yeah,
people.
sorry, I had a phone call, so I had to mute it.
No worries. Let me do a quick switch here with our video. I will stop recording.